Hey there, McQuaid here from the Making Positive Psychology Work podcast, where I've just finished interviewing Professor Ellen Langer. Now, Ellen is often referred to as the mother of mindfulness, as her 40 years of research has dug in depth into the potential benefits that mindfulness might bring for us and how we can practice it more successfully. And one of my favourite findings from her work is that mindfulness doesn't actually require us to sit in hours of meditation, something I'm not particularly good at, but instead that mindfulness is our ability to simply notice what's new all around us at any given moment, which draws really nicely on my curiosity. So how do we pull this off practically? Well, in the interview, Ellen gets right into the research, the benefits of mindfulness in workplaces, and how we can apply it. But three of my little aha moments that I took away from this conversation, and I put them on post-it notes so I'd remember them for you. The first one is to embrace uncertainty. So often we assume that we know the answers to things we really don't. And Ellen used the example of, if you ask, what does 1 and 1 equal? Most people will say 2 with a pretty certain degree of confidence. But it really depends on what we're adding together. If you're adding 1 wad of chewing gum to another wad of chewing gum, you're not going to end up with 2, you're actually going to end up with 1. And Ellen suggested that in most situations, perhaps 1 and 1 doesn't equal 2 more often than we realise. So how do we embrace the fact that we don't really know the answer to anything, and instead of worrying about the silly questions we might be asking or the silly ideas we might be having, actually get comfortable that we all sit in a place of uncertainty and that that's actually part of the wonder and miracle of life for us. Now, my second ahas were around the need to broaden our perspective if we're going to be more mindful and notice what's new. And so this is recognising that from each of our individual perspectives, the things we do make perfect sense. So when we see somebody else doing something, we're like, why on earth are they doing that? To put ourselves in their shoes and actually try and look at it through their eyes, figure out what can they see, what had they noticed in this that we might have actually missed, so that instead of needing to judge each other, we can actually see the wonder that we each find in the world. Now, my third aha was to free ourselves from evaluation, which builds perfectly on the last one. Now, Ellen was really clear that actually any event is neither negative nor positive. It's actually both, but it's where we choose to focus, where what we are mindful about, that will determine whether it's a good thing for us or a bad thing at the end of the day. And Ellen finished our interview with a beautiful example that rather than believing when things go wrong in her life, she's falling down and having to get back up, that actually she believes when things don't always go to plan, it's actually an opportunity for her to fall up in every single instance. So this week I'll be playing with the idea that can I fall up instead of down when things don't go to plan. Make sure you check out the full interview. It's at michellemcquaid.com/podcast48 and grab your free Making It Work cheat sheet while you're there with a few of these little tips and hints ready for you to take away in more places you can find and enjoy some of Ellen's great research. Until next time, take care.